Yep. So we're back here.
If you're listening to the audio, you're like, why isn't anybody talking?
Yeah.
Because I'm making goofy ass faces. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, is it not?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
And this will actually be our last live matinee of the week because, as I mentioned yesterday, if you were not here, we decided we were going to go on Wednesday evening and do like a more sidetracks kind of route. I'll probably just call it sidetracks and put it in the sidetracks playlist because I already have one made for that.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll probably do that tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll have some drinks.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel guilty drinking at 3 in the afternoon.
No,
but I don't feel guilty drinking at 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I know that's dumb. But yeah, we'll get some music going in the background and we won't have a topic or anything. We'll just sit here and yap like we usually do, but we won't feel bad about going off on tangents and stuff because it'll just all be tangents.
We'll have a good soundtrack going in the back. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I gotta find some shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be tomorrow. So
the interactive show.
This and we'll do like we'll answer questions and all that kind of shit. It'll be super cool. This one, interesting. We were actually looking on Amazon Prime for a newer movie or one that came out this year. They actually have one called Come to Daddy, which I've been wanting to see for a while, which I think is 2020 or 2019. And I will probably get around to doing that one next week because I still really want to see that movie. However, while we were scrolling through, we saw this one. Now, this is from 2014, but somehow, even though it's a Stephen King adaptation, it just totally passed us by. I had no idea that this story had even been adapted. This is Stephen King's A Good Marriage. Yeah. He didn't direct this one, but he did write the screenplay. I guess it's based on... if you guys read that book, it was 4 novellas called Full Dark, No Stars. I think it came out in 2010. And this was one of the stories that was in there. I think I read it when it first came out, like a long time ago, because I did kind of remember this story. So basically, it's interesting because this has gotten kind of shitty reviews. I think it has like 35-40% positive reviews, and the rest of them are negative reviews. It's compared to, it's not a masterpiece or anything like that, but it was completely watchable and completely enjoyable. Just, like a thriller.
I think what it is that it wasn't really off the wall. I think
True.
If it had been more off the wall with like, gore or more like supernatural type shit, they probably would have liked it. The story's just like a regular Stephen King kind of story, but this was a lot more grounded in reality. Woman's in a damn area where there's a serial killer. She's kind of worried about the serial killer. Turns out, she finds out later that she knows the serial killer. She's married to him. She's been married to him for fucking 30 years.
Yeah, 25 years. Because they're having a 25th anniversary party at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, and he's kind of like a BTK. And he's kind of, I think, modeled after the BTK.
He is, yeah. Stephen King said that.
Yeah, and, fucking... What's she gonna do? And this is what the story's about.
He's not so much modeled after BTK. I guess the way
like
he kills them it is. But yeah, the idea that somebody like BTK could have a wife and kids and a regular life, and they didn't know anything about it, and it went on for years and years. That's kind of more what he used as an inspiration for this.
Yeah, it's like, what if you found out your husband was BTK? Yeah, and that's the story. Yeah, I thought it was good. It wasn't real gross. Didn't have a lot of gore in it. It was more like a psychological drama, wouldn't you say? Yeah. Psycho thriller.
And not a lot of. It's not like there was a lot of mystery to it or anything, because you find out like pretty early that her husband is Beatty. That's what he's called.
Yeah, there's more to it than that, though. There's all these family ties and family fucking loyalties and shit. It just, it's not like. Say, you're not talking Maximum Overdrive, bad or anything. Okay.
Although that's still pretty entertaining.
Yeah. and you're not really talking about The Shining. It's not that tone. It's just
The Shining or Misery or Shawshank Redemption or anything
you're not
like
talking
that.
about like on that level.
This is a middle level one.
Something about it kind of reminded me of what was that story that he had? Thinner. There's something about it just kind of reminded me of Thinner. I don't know, maybe because
I kind of have a soft spot for the film adaptation of Thinner.
Yeah.
It's not good, but
no.
I don't know.
Well, there's something about the story of Thinner where some shit, it's out in the open and you're dealing with it for a long period of time. You don't know what's going to happen. He's getting thinner and thinner and he's trying to solve it. Well, you know for a long time that he's a serial killer, and its situation's getting worse and worse, and how's she going to solve it? So for some reason, it kind of reminded me of that. But, it might have just been
I get what you're saying.
Kind of like the tempo of the story.
Yeah, it's more like I said, there's not any mystery to it because you know that you figure out, like, in the first 15 minutes that he's a serial killer. Like, she figures it out because she finds one of the victims, like, she'd seen it on the news, and she finds one of the victims' IDs, like, hidden, like, in his garage, his little man cave or whatever. So she finds out about it, and then when she kind of pretends like she doesn't know, but she's super upset. And then he just comes clean, and he's like, yeah, it's like me and this kid that I grew up with, who he got the name from. Yeah, he gave me the idea to be a serial killer, kind of. This is pretty much, if you read the story, it's almost exactly like the story. Which isn't surprising because Stephen King adapted it. He wrote the screenplay from his own novella. I think the only major thing that's different is that in the story, when he talks about his past and this friend that they were gonna do serial killer shit together, where he got the serial killer idea from or whatever. I think in the story they were gonna do like a school shooter thing, like pull a Columbine. But in the movie, I think he basically says something like these girls were snoots, I think they called them, and so they were gonna like teach him a lesson, sort of like gonna rape and kill him. So, which makes more sense with the crimes that he committed later on, because they were BTK-like, you know what I mean? Because she even finds like a BDSM magazine in his stuff too, right? Yeah. Like right before she finds the idea, because she's like, oh, okay, I didn't know he was into this shit. But yeah, so Joan Allen is in this. She plays the wife, Darcy. Anthony LaPaglia plays Bob the serial killer. It's weird because when I first saw him, I thought it was Gabriel Byrne. I'm like, God damn, he looks so much like Gabriel Byrne these days. Also, I like Stephen Lang was in this. He played like the detective. Yeah. He wasn't in it enough though. He was so good. Really he was so good in VFW.
Yeah, you didn't really know much about that character until later on.
Yeah, he was just kind of lurking around, like, creeping on people.
It was a good movie. It was a good movie. It wasn't one of the greatest, but there was nothing bad about it. It didn't have bad acting, it didn't have bad edit or anything. It was just a decent movie.
It was perfectly serviceable. Yeah. And I had a good time too because, as I said, I think, and we probably talked about this on our BTK show too. We should have got BTK over here for this. Nah, fuck BTK. Come on, Dennis.
Nah, fuck Dennis.
What do you think about this movie? But
yeah, so yeah, well, yeah, it was okay.
They made a movie about me.
Best one was Silver Bullet.
Because it has Gary Busey being crazy in it. I love Silver Bullet. We should do a review on Silver Bullet one of these days. I think they have that on Amazon.
Silver Bullet is one BTK would like.
That seems like something he would like.
He wouldn't like Dead Zone.
No.
He's
trying to figure out which Stephen King adaptations BTK would like the best.
He likes Silver Bullet. He likes Children of the Corn.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
He would totally relate to the kids.
Yeah.
But I think that...
It happens, Whole towns.
I'm from Kansas, I know.
They got the X Factor. X Factor living underneath the town. Cops try to stop it. Doesn't help. Kids all understand it. Yeah.
They're all Minotaurs.
Yeah, they like Minotaurs. Turns them into Minotaurs. Little pans and satyrs.
But yeah, so I think that...
You need to send them to church more.
Yeah, I guess so. But that's the thing. It brings up the moral dilemma, because this is one thing that always fascinated me about BTK, and I think it fascinates a lot of people, how serial killers who we just... I guess not so much nowadays, but you kind of picture them as like these drooling ogres or whatever, and it's really weird to us to think that somebody that you're married to for 25 years and have grown kids with and, think is a normal person, and then suddenly you find out they're a serial killer, and it's like, how does that affect you? Like, what, you know what I mean? And I'm saying, like, I'm watching this movie, and I guess because it's me, like, as soon as she found out that he was a serial killer, I don't think I would have, like, pretended that I didn't know. I would have just waited for him. I would have just been like, yeah, cool, whatever. And then, like, as soon as he came home, I just would have, like, smothered her to death or something like that. But, well, I mean, she does eventually, spoiler alert, she does eventually end up killing him and making it look like an accident. Because that's what I said. I said, kill him and make it look like an accident. So that's what she did. She was listening to me. But, but seriously, the whole time, it's like, I don't understand. I get why she didn't want to tell anybody. Like, she didn't want to turn him in because she was like, well, she didn't want the kids to know, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because wasn't like one of their daughters, because their kids were grown. They had 2. And one of their daughters was getting married. And she found out like a week before the daughter was getting married. And so she was just kind of like, well, I don't want the daughter, you know, the kids finding out that their dad is a serial killer. Yeah. Which, I don't know, man. I don't know if I would have... I don't know. I don't have kids, so I don't really know how you would feel in that situation. But I feel like that's a given. Don't...
I imagine a lot of fucking serial killers that never got caught maybe went down this way. Maybe somebody in their family found out about him and killed him. Bet you that's possible.
I mean, you can't blame them.
Remember how we were I was doing the thing on the original Night Stalker?
Yeah.
And I called it. I said, that dude's a cop. Yeah. But I also thought that maybe somebody got him.
I thought so too.
I thought
he broke into somebody's house and somebody fucking
got the drop on him
and then made a stew out of his ass.
Yeah, but you know, I bet you.
Too bad that didn't happen.
I wonder if that bitch. And then all of a sudden he got caught.
Yeah.
But it was about a year later.
Yeah.
If that. I wonder if that bitch heard our show.
See, I always wonder every time we do shows about serial killers that are still alive, if they have access to. I don't know if they let them watch.
I don't think that. I don't know. They might have phones, but no, it makes you wonder if original Night Stalker. What was his name again?
D'Angelo.
I bet you D'Angelo didn't even have YouTube.
Yeah, he seemed like just this grouchy
old man. He probably didn't even use computers.
That you didn't even know how computers worked.
Oh, yeah. He'd have been like, all that garbage on the internet. It's all just a bunch of bullshit.
He definitely seems like that type of dude.
My dad's like that.
Yeah.
I had to set him straight on that. Remember that when he was over here? Oh, that internet bullshit. Yeah, there's nothing.
There's nothing on there.
He still thought he was
There's nothing on there.
There's nothing on there. He still thought he was like in 1996 or something.
When there actually was nothing good on there.
Yeah, when there really was nothing good on it. But he thought it was in 96.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, so I had a good time with this. Yes, I had a drink or two.
Yeah.
So the whole time I was just kind of like, I was giving her tips, you know? Because I told him, I was like, this is why bitches love true crime shit, because you never know when you're going to need that stuff. So I was like telling her what to do. I'm like, you got to make it look like an accident. You got to like, bleach the sink out, and then you got to do this, that, and the other thing. So I was telling
this bitch. Ain't that something?
You're not a serial killer, though,
I know
right?
that, but freaking, she's always, I'd kill that motherfucker. I'd kill that motherfucker in his sleep talking, and
I was just like, stab him in the face and run. Stab him in the face.
And I'm looking over going, damn. I better fucking stay on my fucking P's and Q's.
You better, because if I found out you were a serial killer, like because we've been together, like almost 10 years, and I was just like, if I found out you were a serial killer, I wouldn't even hesitate. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, but what if it was something else?
So you might as well.
What if it was? I don't know.
What was it like? What?
I don't know.
I mean, serial killer is pretty
telling.
much the worst thing
There's
you could be.
I've heard you say some crazy shit about dudes. I'd cut his dick off. And I'm like, well, just weird fucking shit like that, you know.
Well,
fucking women,
and that's what I said. Well, hey, don't fuck with us. That's all I'm saying.
I'd cut that motherfucker's balls off.
We'll see. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I would too. Well, and the thing about it is that
fucking tape over my fucking duct tape.
You totally need a fucking iron. What the hell is those things called? Shit, dude. Chastity belt. Thank you. I couldn't think of what I couldn't think of.
Chastity belt to protect your junk while you're asleep.
Lock it all up.
You make a bitch mad, and you don't know she's mad at you, and then you wake up and she Lorena boppets your ass.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, that's what I said to this woman, because I'm just like, one is the fact that she kind of pretended to go along like, oh yeah, I won't turn you in. Like you have to promise, like pinky swear you're not going to do it again. But I think she was like after the wedding and everything like that. She was going to kill his ass anyway. I think she was just kind of like, because I'm sitting there going, how could you not? I mean, where the bitch sleeps. He's right there. It's like, even if you don't want to make a mess, I'm like, just fucking smother his ass. He's right there. He's got to sleep sometime. So, but I'm glad that she womaned up and did that shit. She overeat up.
She dropped her tits.
She dropped her tits.
Yeah.
Killed the motherfucker. And like I said, did it in a really smart way to make it look like an accident. So then that way, even if they found out later that he was a serial killer, she'd probably still get in trouble. But if you, make it look like an accident, then it's just like, oh, how tragic. And then, like, his kids were all sad and shit. And she was just like, man, fuck that bitch.
Yeah. See, now that you spoiled the movie, you guys can fucking watch it if you want to.
Well, I feel like, one, the movie is 6 years old, and the story is, like, 10 years old? 11 years old? So I kind of feel... And like I said, it's not like it's a big, huge surprise. You kind of know how it's going to go, like, as soon as you figure out. Because the fact that it's called A Good Marriage, the fact that you know from the poster that it has like a Mr. and Mrs. towel, and then the Mr. one has blood all over it, like a handprint. Yeah. So it's like you pretty much know that, oh, her husband's a serial killer, and how the fuck is she going to deal with that? So, I mean, there's really only one or two ways it could go, right? I mean, she could kill his ass, he could kill her ass, it could go, you know what I mean? So there's only a couple ways it could go. So it's not like I don't feel that bad about spoiling it, like I said, because it's old anyway. But, yeah, so... It's a decent movie. It's on Amazon Prime if you're kind of in the mood for a Stephen King-y type of...
Yeah, I saw it for free on Amazon Prime.
Thriller. Yeah, and like I said, there's a couple other ones, because there was a couple newer ones I wanted to watch too, but we just saw that one and I was like, oh, a Stephen King adaptation that I didn't... I mean, it's not as good as the ones they had on Netflix, like Gerald's Game and 1922 and shit like those were like really good. This one was fine. Okay. It was fine. Yeah. You know, it's fun. All right, so this one's... I mean, we've been going on for 21 minutes. It's fine. But, yeah, so you guys, like I said, we're going to do an unscripted live show. I guess we're going to just start doing it every Wednesday now. Yeah. It'll be like a regular show, but in the middle of the week, and it won't have a topic. We'll just be on here. You can ask us questions.
It'll just be
we'll have music. We'll drink. We'll dick around with you guys. Yeah. It'll be super fun. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about. And I won't be over there going...
It'll be a talk show.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, and maybe I will, but not for the reasons I usually am. All right, so we will see you guys tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. for our fun show. And that'll do it. So thanks for dropping by. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Man, you can't even wait. Yeah. He's like, I'm leaving. Yeah.